so long. I knew just what I would do when I heard your song. Till my heart gave me freedom. You knew I could not resist. I needed someone. And now I'm flying through the stars. I hope this night lasts forever. Ain't nobody loves me better than their time. Makes me happy, makes me feel this way. Ain't nobody loves me better. One night, that bring you to me. Baby, I'm the one. I was so lonely. I feel like no one. I must be dreaming. I want this dream to be real. I need this feeling. I've been waiting for you. It's been so long. I knew just what I would do when I heard your song. Till my heart gave me freedom. You knew I could not resist. I needed someone. And now I'm flying through the stars. I hope this night lasts forever. Ain't nobody loves me better than their time. Makes me happy, makes me feel this way. Ain't nobody loves me better. One night, that bring you to me. Baby, I'm the one. I was so lonely. I feel like no one. I must be dreaming. I want this dream to be real. I need this feeling. I make my wish upon a star and hope this night will last forever. Ain't nobody loves me better than me. Makes me happy, makes me feel this way. Ain't nobody loves me better than me. Ain't nobody loves me better than you. I wish you put your arms around me. Then get your arms around me. I can't resist the sweet surrender. Oh, my nights are warm and tender. Staring into each other's eyes. And what we see is no surprise. Got a feeling most would treasure. And a love so deep we cannot measure. Ain't nobody loves me better. You make me feel this way. Feel this way. Feel this way. Ain't nobody loves me better. Nobody. Ain't nobody loves me better. Nobody, baby. Ain't nobody loves me better. Makes me
division, came in at a very light 145 pounds.
So Ray Leonard now getting his game face on, if you will, still making his way through the crowd, down the aisle toward the ring here, which is set on the tennis courts here at Caesar's Palace. Ray looking very serious. In fact, Ray, who is really the show business of the two, seemingly a little bit more tight than Thomas Hearns.
And you see on the back of Thomas Hearns, it's not his name, it just says, winner take all.
And that is a fact. That's not a name, that's a statement. Ray Leonard now nearing the ring. His handler's coming in, and here comes Ray into the ring with a flame-treated robe here.
He's on fire.
Ray Leonard has been known to design his own, it says deliverance on the back of his, so both fighters coming in with a little message rather than with their name. He comes in, throws a couple of shadow punches at the referee here.
You know, there's a lot of pre-fight jockeying. The ring is 20 feet. That would seem to favor Leonard a little bit more. The gloves apparently favor the puncher a little bit more. Everybody fighting for every little edge they can possibly get.
You know what's interesting is that Emmanuel Stewart is smiling and taunting the crowd.
Let's take a look at the tail of the tape now. Ray Leonard, of course, 25 years old, and Tommy Hearns, 22. Rarity for Ray to be older than his opponent. He, of course, 5 feet 10 inches tall to Hearns 6'1". He lost an inch in there somewhere, Larry. Weight 146, as you mentioned, for Leonard. 145 for Hearns. A little bit on the light side. The reach, that's been talked about time and again. 4.5-inch advantage for Tommy Hearns. Chest, of course, is comparable, and so, too, is the fist. So that is the tail of the tape as we get just about set for the main go.
The official assigned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission for the main event of the evening. The judges are Chuck Minker, Dwayne Ford, and Lou Tabbitt. The timekeeper is Jane Broadfoot. Counting at the knockdowns, Charlie Roth. The doctors at ringside, Doctors Donald Romeo, Dr. Flip Homansky, and Dr. Daniel Zimmerman. The referee for the main event of the evening, Mr. Davey Pearl. This is the feature attraction of the evening. 15 rounds of boxing for the undisputed welterweight championship of the world. Introducing, in the blue corner, fighting out of Palmer Park, Maryland, weighing in at 146 pounds, the WBC welterweight champion, Sugar Ray Leonard.
How about that? Tommy Hearns tapped his mitts a little, gave him applause.
Well, they both respect.
And in the red corner, from Detroit, Michigan, he is the WBA welterweight champion of the world, undefeated in his professional career. Introducing Thomas, the Motor City Cobra, Hearns. 15 rounds of boxing.
What's going on, family? I'm Scrapbookboxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. I want to continue to examine 100 years of World Championship fights. September 16th, 1981, Sugar Ray Leonard, who's the WBC welterweight champion, would meet up with Thomas the Hitman Motor City Cobra Hearns, who's the WBA welterweight champion of the world. Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas, Nevada. Referee is Davey Pearl.
3 judges score the fight. The referee does not score the fight.
As we said at the top of the show,
100 years of World Championship fights.
We are down to round 1, and here we go. Both fighters wearing white trunks. That was another last-minute psychological flaw for Ray Leonard.
Hearns is going to go right after him and try to put him away. Leonard's going to stay away, dance and fake, taunt him, and try to make him miss and look silly.
Ray up on his toes right now. Of course, the question remains, what will the strategy be that Ray employs? And all the conversation before the fight has been that he will try and get inside, get to the body. Right now, both fighters at long range. First round, welterweight championship of the world. It is probably the most talked about fight in history. I think that's safe to say.
Yep. Leonard's going to try to move, feel him out, see what he's going to do, see how he throws his jab. I think once he feels how Hearns more or less does his stuff, then he's going to start moving inside and try to start counterpunching.
Early on here in the first round, we've just come up past the 1-minute mark. And nobody is really landed a punch of any sort, even so much as a jab so far.
Now, Thomas Hearns was 22 years old. He stood 6 foot 1 inch, and he weighed 145 pounds, rather light for Thomas Hearns. That was a concern coming in. He had a 78-inch reach, and he had a record of 32 wins and 30 knockouts. As for Ray Leonard, he was 25 years old. He stood 5 foot 10 inches, and he weighed 146 pounds coming in. He had a 74-inch reach, and he had a record of 30 wins, 1 loss, and that was to Roberto Duran in 29 knockouts. Now, Hearns has an overall record of 67 bouts, 61 wins, 48 knockouts, 5 losses, and 1 draw. He's a 5-time, 5-weight division champion. He would win a welterweight, the junior middleweight, super middleweight, and light heavyweight champions. He even fight in the cruiserweight division.
Figure out how he's throwing all his punches, figuring out what Hearns is going to do, and then make his approaches.
Angelo Dundee, in talking about Sugar Ray Leonard, said a good boxer plays checkers. He said everything works off the jab. It's to the side, and then inside. So far, Ray Leonard has not gotten inside.
That's a good jab landed by Hearns. Right there, nice and flush.
Now, both Leonard and Hearns would win $8 million. That's what their purse would be. But Leonard would get an additional $5 million.
And like it didn't hurt, didn't bother.
Closed-circuit television rights.
Nice job by Ray Leonard. Good, that was a counterpunch. Good counterpunch. It made Hearns a little mad. He's going after him.
Very fast pace early on here in the first round. Remember, we talked about the heat on end. Hearns sticks Ray Leonard, and Leonard feigns going down after the round is over.
Now I want to once again take a look at the tactics that Ray Leonard would employ on Thomas Hearns at the end of the first round. His goal is to get into the head of Thomas Hearns.
He's not going to put up with any of Leonard's taunts or humiliations, which he has been throwing a lot of stuff out at Hearns all through the previous week coming up into the fight.
A little consternation in Leonard's corner between rounds there. You heard Angelo Dundee say, cut him off. Jax Morton was telling one of the seconds in Leonard's corner, I believe it might have been his brother, get out of the corner, just get out of there. So a little bit of confusion. You don't usually find that in Sugar Ray Leonard's camp. Very well organized. Round 2. First round, very close.
Now, Ray Leonard attempts to move away from Thomas Hearns. Thomas Hearns is now the stalker, and Ray Leonard is the mover or boxer.
Dundee, of course, has said the only time that Sugar Ray did not listen to him was the fight he lost to Roberto Duran.
They're working up a good sweat already. They're beating up and sweating good.
Even though there hasn't been a lot of punches thrown, the pace has been very quick, so conditioning could play a very big
Now, the issue Thomas Hearns is having right now, he's trying to catch a fly. He should not do that. He should jab whether he hits Leonard or not. Keep him moving.
Where Leonard has it, and that may prove a big factor towards the later rounds if it goes that long.
90 degrees, as a matter of fact, in that gymnasium, and Manuel Stewart, the trainer and manager of Thomas Hearns, has said that's the way he wants it for his guy. We'll see if it pays off.
That's right, because it's at least 90 in the ring right now.
Ray Leonard is trying to get Thomas Hearns to move his legs into the next 3 or 4 rounds.
Leonard knows Hearns is power, and he knows he's going to have to stay away. And he knows that, like when he gets stuck on the ropes, he's really hesitant to know what to do, waiting for Hearns to throw something, to get out of the way. He knows he has to stay out of the way, reach up his power.
Under the 115 mark now to go in the second round, and Hearns is ahead.
This is the mistake Thomas Hearns is making right now. You do not allow Ray Leonard to do that. You consistently move forward to Leonard and you pump the jab. Doesn't have to hit him. Has to keep him moving.
A little bit of swelling under the left eye, as you mentioned, Randy, on the face of Sugar Ray Leonard.
Now he's staggered Leonard. He needs to go right to Leonard and pump the jab, double up on it, and hook off the jab. That cannot stop.
Punch by Leonard scores on the side of the face of Thomas Hearns, but Hearns,
don't worry about the right hand. Concentrate with the jab and the hook.
Leonard knows he's going to be in for a fight. That's why he's been so closed off into all the pre-advertising and the press before the fight.
He needs to continue to jab. Do not exchange punches with Ray Leonard.
That was sort of caught Hearns on the side of the neck. Wasn't a very effective punch, but it still landed nevertheless.
Say that Thomas Hearns has very good balance for a guy his size. That's one of the reasons he doesn't usually get hurt. He was a little bit off balance that time.
His height helped. Any normal guy would have been on the chin.
Come to the end of round 2, Larry.
Hearns throwing his punches away, going after him, being wild. Right there, when he thought he had Leonard hurt, he didn't go wild and he didn't go crazy and try to go after him. He took his time. He threw a few extra punches, but he knew it was, that it wasn't working, so he stopped. And that was very important.
That's a very well taken point. In fact, when he had Baeza in trouble in his last fight down in Houston, he went after him and was wild. And, of course, Baeza nowhere near the caliber of Sugar Ray Leonard, so something to watch.
That's why the caliber of these two fighters has so much to do with the media, the press, everything, to emphasize of the two fighters, on how good they are. And he knows how good Sugar Ray is in moving.
Combination that time by Hearns. Once more scores on Ray against the ropes. Hearns stalking this man now.
Leonard knows he has to stay away. He should get inside and tie him up. He can't
should not be throwing right hands at Leonard. He must continue to jab.
All his power.
That's what he has to do, up and down with the jab.
Shot to the body that time by Thomas Hearns. Leonard shakes it off, but nonetheless it was right in the belly.
Now continue to jab and go forward.
So far, Thomas Hearns, the crisper of the two punchers.
Leonard looks like he's looking for an opening and trying to make him miss. He looks like he's taunting him.
He has to break the timing and rhythm of Ray Leonard.
Leonard tries to go downstairs. That was supposed to be his strategy. It has not been effective so far. The fight has been fought, by and large, at long range. Leonard gets on his bicycle.
Ray Leonard already has impaired vision in his left eye. Hearns must continue to pump the jab. Double up on the jab. And jab to his stomach and to his head.
Hearns' jab is bothering Leonard. There's no question about it. There's a right hand in the head of Thomas Hearns by Sugar Ray Leonard.
You don't start throwing right hands until after the 4th round.
Which you just did right there.
Those right hands will disturb the left eye of Ray Leonard.
There's no question that so far, as we come to the 2-minute mark of round 3, it's been a tactical fight on both parts.
Leonard's trying to confuse Hearns. And I don't think it's working too well. That was a great right hand.
He has to pump the jab, does Thomas Hearns, because Ray Leonard's starting to get closer to him.
Just a little bit now as Ray starts to work inside a little bit more.
And Hearns will take the bait as he did with Marvin Hagler in 1985. Hearns must continue to jab.
Now against Hearns, against the ropes.
Now he's trying to fight Leonard. You have to go back to the jab and hook off the jab.
He fought the first 2.5 rounds outside. Right hand by Hearns. Stands Leonard straight up and he backs off.
No, sir. You have to go with the jab and hook off the jab. You'll find yourself in a slug match. That you don't want.
Well, that last minute is what we all came to see. On the chin, and Hearns is still here. Because there was a doubt about how good a punch he could take.
Well, Hearns can take a halfway decent punch, but I would say that it might have stung Hearns a little bit. But he weathered it out, and that's the important part.
Round 4, and so far it has lived.
The reason why Leonard raised his hands at the end of that round is because he wanted to see if Hearns could take a punch.
It has been a cerebral fight.
Hearns needs to keep Leonard at the end of that jab.
And when they found it, they've executed. Ray now a little bit more flat-footed. Both men flat-footed here in round 4.
You have to stand flat-footed to punch and counter-punch. Ray has to stand flat-footed, to counter-punch, slip those punches, and go inside and hit him.
I think you can hear the sound of Thomas Hearns' punches
hitting his body. Now, those things may not look like they're doing anything, but it eventually takes its toll.
Both fighters going to a counter-punching style here, waiting for the other man to make a mistake.
Now, as an amateur, Thomas Hearns only had 7 knockouts. He was more of a boxer. He started sitting down on his punches as he turned professional. He had 23,618 spectators in the outside arena of Caesar's Palace. Ray Leonard has been here before with Roberto Duran. Thomas Hearns has not.
Many fighters will tell you it's not a wise thing to do.
Well, you notice Leonard's open too. You know, you can see Hearns more because they have the bigger mouthpiece.
Leonard's taking a couple of jabs from Thomas Hearns.
Also, I should drop in here, the height difference doesn't seem so great right now.
Well, Hearns is leaning forward a little bit, and he's shrinking his weight. When he stands straight up, he's got all that height. Leonard's standing straight up, and Hearns is leaning forward. Good right.
Leonard is now dictating the pace of this fight. Should not be happening. Thomas Hearns needs to go back to boxing. But he has to concentrate on the eye and the balance of Ray Leonard.
That was a good counterpunch for
Cannot throw right hands at this point, too early in the fight.
Ray going to get better at the exchange here. Jumps under that sweeping left hook. Takes a left to the body, the right to the head. As Hearns comes back with a combination, and Ray retreats.
Those some good punches by both fighters.
Swelling under Ray Leonard's left eye. It does not seem any worse than it was in the second round.
That was on top of the forehead on the left side.
The right hands of Hearns right now is ineffective. He must continue to jab and hook off the jab.
In round 4. Another good right hand by Hearns.
That right hand was set up by the jab.
Into round 4, and so far, as you mentioned, it's living up to its billing.
It's starting to build. That fire is getting bigger and bigger. It might be a bonfire before it's over.
He goes out hard always in every fight. The first 3 or 4 rounds, he goes out very hard, then slows up.
Of course, in his case, after the first 3 or 4 rounds, the other guy's not usually there. Different story tonight here in Las Vegas. Round 5 underway. There seemed to be an awful lot of pacing going on by both men.
It's just like they both know what judges like. And towards the end of the round is very crucial in the judge's mind. If you take the last 10 seconds, you can count on that it could probably go your way. So both fighters, they don't like to just come out and start winging.
Another thing worth pointing out is that both fighters are punching in combinations, and that really is the name of the game in this sport. Fighters of this caliber, it's extremely unlikely you're going to get a one-punch knockout. Both fighters,
besides the combinations, on the combinations, they both have to counterpunch. And they're both doing it very well. All the effective punches landed so far have been done by counterpunches. There was a counterpunch on, but it missed.
Leonard again trying to circle, just cut the ring on Thomas Hearns. Goes left and comes back right.
Hearns must pick up his left hand. He must jab. Not allow Leonard to be bouncing around like this. This is why he must continue to pump the jab. Double up on the jab. Jab to the body and jab to the head.
Punch land behind his head. Those still take its toll.
Good jab to the pit of the stomach of Ray Leonard.
I think he saw Leonard Hearns' right hand cocked and they decided not to throw it.
Do not back up. He needs to continue to jab.
He's done away with that right hand lead, which he opened the fight with in the first round and a little bit of the second round. Attempt to jab and set up the right hand.
That's usually Hearns' fight plan. You keep the jab running.
Now, jab. Hearns needs to jab, double up on the jab, and then shoot a straight right hand down the pipe. Because Ray Leonard is relaxed. He doesn't see a right hand coming at this point.
For the large part, at long range. Ray again taunts and misses.
Go right back to him with the jab.
Now it's a little showbiz. Well, this is the show business capital here.
You see, this is how Hearns will run into problems.
Both landing jabs.
He needs to cut the ring off, and he needs to jab.
Leonard power, so he has to back off a little bit more when he's talking.
One-third of this fight is over. We're going into the second third. Neither fighter really shows any signs of fatigue at all. Both fighters talking in the corner, not to double up on the left hook. Once again, you heard Angelo Dundee in the corner. And again, the sign of an organized corner where there's only one man talking there, and that is Angelo Dundee. Jack Morrison is co-trainer with Angelo Dundee and Sugar Ray Leonard just trying to make good counter relax the body. That right hand sort of landed a little bit flush on Hearns, but Hearns had a good body counter punch. Nice jab. Neither man really marked puffiness under the left eye of Sugar Ray Leonard. Was there in the second round. No worse here in the sixth. Hearns, I feel, once in a while should bring up, when Leonard's making his attack, should bring up his left hand, but he never does. Let's keep it right down around his hip. That's right, and that's when he's always gotten hit. It was Leonard's coming in, he never brought up his hand. It's okay to keep it down low, but you got to bring it up once in a while. Good jab, right on the nose of Leonard. You can see Hearns' reach, very evident on those jabs. Ray, good effort by Ray. Good effort by Hearns.
Hearns can win these rounds with the jab and consistently moving forward. Effective aggressiveness. He has to double up on that jab.
No worse than the 4 rounds shouldn't happen.
Stay the same. I didn't see him before the fight. It could have been there before the fight. I didn't really pay attention.
Ray gets inside.
Big mistake. Big mistake. Do not throw the right hand. He has the consistent jab. Now he has to move.
Ray's corner telling him to stay on him. Stay on him. Hearns backs up now. Leonard stalks him. Another left hand. Hearns is still hurt. Kneeling backwards. Plenty of time left in the round. 45 seconds.
This is the problem. He has to continue to move and he has to jab.
Hearns is definitely hurt.
Don't throw the right hand. He has to jab and he has to hook.
Ray not wasting any punches. Content to take his time here.
That's a body shot.
Oh, beautiful body shot by Leonard. And a beautiful head shot with a hook.
Once more, Leonard stalking him. 20 seconds remaining in the round. Plenty of time. Hearns is against the ropes. And he has definitely had the starch taken out of him here.
Hearns isn't holding on. He's not a good defensive fighter.
Right hand misses.
This is what Marvin Hagler saw.
He's still hurt though.
Hearns will take the bait.
Hearns goes reeling back once more. Against the ropes.
He must remain disciplined. If he clears his head in this round, he must come back with the jab.
Most definitive round of the fight. That was a big round. And that round could turn the fight around. Tommy Hearns is not going to be coming out as forcefully anymore. He's got to weather this storm right now. Thomas Hearns may still have a few cobwebs.
Hearns comes out trying to...
Right now, he needs to double up on the jab.
Tentatively, actually.
Hearns' left hand drops after he throws it.
So Ray
a little bit off on his counter
right now.
He's got to move, but he's got to jab. Cannot stalk Leonard right now at this point.
Hearns throws the right hand. Ray Leonard, I thought, did a smart thing, actually, and when he realized...
As he clears his head, he'll double up with the jab and shoot a straight right hand down the pipe.
Yeah, well, he weathered it.
Remind Ray Leonard who the puncher is.
A few more. Not like Hearns, where he lets his hands down.
Hearns right now appears to have had the starch taken out of him a little bit.
See how Hearns' left hand comes all the way down when he throws that right hand?
Throwing plunging punches right now. Leonard is in close.
Leonard is throwing beautiful punches. He is.
Ray got in a little bit. He had around 3, and now is starting to get in on his man just a little bit more. Hearns trying to measure it and stay at arm's length.
Oh, beautiful body punch.
Good uppercut.
Nice combinations thrown by Ray Leonard.
Against the ropes, and he is hurt.
Hearns is hurt.
Leonard again pacing himself now. Has plenty of time in this round. Just past the 1-minute mark.
I don't think Hearns is going to weather this off. I really don't. He's going to stay keep those cobwebs until Leonard either finishes them off or he's just going to lose the decision. I don't think
Hearns should not stay in front of Leonard. He needs to move. He needs to turn Ray Leonard at this point. He will be caught again.
Backs up against the ropes.
And his legs almost buckled on him. He almost didn't get his back.
Leonard giving a lot of pounding to Thomas Hearns, who unquestionably is hurt.
Hearns' right hand is down. That's where he's getting hit by that left hook. Even on the inside. See on the inside?
Now, right now, Hearns needs to hook off the ropes.
You have to remember, Tommy Hearns has never been in this position in his life.
That was a good attempt with the hook. He needs to time Ray Leonard.
How to respond. He's going on instinct rather than on memory.
Right now, he's got to get ready to hook. We've got to set it up correctly.
Giving a lot away. That body punch hurt. Just about.
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. Don't lean on the ropes that way. You will get nailed.
Really covering up on those body punches.
Trying to hold on as best he can, but Leonard is scoring just about at will, not missing any punches. Very important. Left hand sends Hearns back to the ropes again. It wasn't particularly good like that.
Hearns must hook to the body at this point right now.
Leonard trying to find the one punch.
Good body shot by Hearns.
He needs to continue.
Another good right hand.
Nice right hand by Ray Leonard.
Sends Hearns into a neutral corner.
That's because his hands are down. You can't get him up in that corner. You got to have him up.
Thomas Hearns looking every part to beat the fighter now. Another right hand drives him back into the ring post. 5 seconds remaining now, round 7. Crowd is on its feet here in Vegas to come to the end of the round.
Good body shot by Hearns.
Now, Dundee wants Leonard to go to the body. All right, this is Scrapbookboxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. All great fights and all great fighters will never be forgotten on my channel. Look out for part 2 of Ray Leonard and Thomas the Hitman Hearns. 100 years of World Championship fights. 1981.
5 seconds remaining now, round 7.
See you in the next video.
Here in Vegas